Today, we'll talk about inducement and liquidity and how it affects price movements. Then we will work on trading examples, most of the trades that I took last week. This will be a crazy trading video for day traders and scalpers. You'll learn about liquidity hunts, inducement reactions, supply and demand trading, and order blocks. We have so much to do. If you're ready, let's start. Welcome our free trading course, all about price action trading strategies and smart money concepts. If you love scalping and day trading, check out my free course. You can find the links on Google Drive or directly from my website, which is in the description. And please try to watch videos in order, otherwise it can confuse you. Okay everyone, let's talk about current price movement in Bitcoin and try to gain a deeper understanding of liquidity and market structure. Firstly, I'd like to address the liquidity sweeps that have happened within this range. If you look closely, the price sweeps the major liquidity above and makes incredible corrections afterward. And at the bottom, you can see these perfectly equal lows being swept right here. Furthermore, we are currently in this large 4-hour imbalance. Here is the idea. Unless the price breaks this significant imbalance like this, I'm still overall bullish because major equal lows have been swept and still holding the imbalance. I will closely watch this imbalance. Now let's discuss the liquidity during consolidation periods. In our case, as you can see, the price sweeps liquidity and reacts with pullbacks from above and below. Even though I'm still overall bullish, here is the issue. If this range happened to have major open liquidity above, it would be amazing for me. I would say I am 100% bullish at the moment. Right now, I'm keeping an eye on this 4-hour balanced price range. Let's take a closer look at this area and discuss more price action inside. Now we are looking at the 15-minute time frame here. Not the most amazing price action, however, if you can notice, it is making an overall 15-minute range here. Notice this significant low here. Price strongly drops. Then it pulls back nicely until this giant internal imbalance. Also, the super BPR that I have mentioned in my previous videos, it also sweeps all these nice internal liquidity. Then price moves down to hunt those perfect equal lows from the first section. Here at this point, I also noticed this internal liquidity sweep. These are perfect power of 3 conditions for me. Why? We are in the major range low. We hunted 4-hour equal lows. We are inside the 4-hour imbalance. We hunted internal liquidity. I was extremely bullish here. After the reaction, I started to notice price started to keep taking out all these small internal highs. So I decided that this internal order flow started to become bullish and looked for a long. Since I was busy, I actually did not make a very detailed analysis here. Just tried to analyze the recent price action. I noticed this previous imbalance which reacted well but was not strong enough yet. The idea in my mind was so simple. With the power of the 4-hour equal lows hunt and imbalance, I expected the price to be pushed up to this 4-hour balance price range at least. Then I kept watching the price action afterward. There was also this insane amount of open liquidity here, which made me even more bullish. So around this area, I made a very casual market entry around the 30,000 price level. Here things got more complex and simple at the same time. Let's closely analyze these 2 areas to fully understand the reaction. I will first analyze the left part. Then I will look at the right part to fully analyze the events. Okay, first the left side. Here, price shifted downwards. after the internal structure break. And it left this mostly unfilled imbalance above. There were also many open liquidity around this imbalance. Remember, liquidity around key structures like order blocks, breaker blocks, and imbalances are powerful inducements. Never forget it. Now, let's look at the right part and how the price reacted there. As you can see, I dragged the imbalance all along. Everything very clear, I guess. Notice all these 5-minute breakout structures here. Keep pushing the price up with the bullish flow. Notice these two legs here. Very, very powerful displacements. However, check this last break. No powerful break, only wicks. Basically a swing failure pattern and liquidity hunt. Then what happens afterward? Extremely powerful reaction downwards. Makes an internal structure shift with a giant imbalance here. Once I saw that shift, I mostly closed my long position. Then what happened? As you can see, it just hunted all the parabolic downside liquidity. After all the movement, I did not trade. I mostly kept watching the price. This is how I practice, guys. I do not need to trade some days. I just only watch the price and understand the movements. Let's watch the price action with 1 minute time frame. Once the structure shifts, after a while, this almost perfect equal lows created. And I templated this move in my recent videos. Especially, Bitcoin does this a lot, faking a market structure break above close liquidity areas to trap the traders. There was a trap structure shift here. It was just actually powering up from this imbalance here. After all, that price started to create very tiny internal flow downwards. Finally created this super balanced price range with 4 imbalance intersections. I actually spotted this later on from a Twitter follower. And this was the result. Extremely sharp fall. Now trading can get really complex, guys. Some days I miss many trades. We are not perfect beings. However, with proper capital management, we can be constantly profitable. Okay folks, with this video, we have learned a lot about inducement and liquidity, useful trading methods. I believe that it will be really helpful in your trading life while you are scalping, day trading, or even swing trading. I hope you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you, please take care and see you soon.